Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Anastasia. If you're new here, this is the place where we gather, design, create, and celebrate a beautiful life together. If it's not your first time here, welcome back. And if it is, please be sure to subscribe, like, ring the bell, comment down below if you're interested in this video or more like it. Now, each month on this channel, I will be doing a DIY. Part of the reason for that is that I really encourage, and I think it's really important to get creative and to use what resources you have to make your home, your space, as beautiful as you can. Now, today we are going to be making a Christmas wreath form. Now, this particular wreath form that I will be using is the professional version, which has the little clips. You don't need to use this version. You can use any wreath form that are available at your local dollar store, craft store, online, on Amazon. I'm reusing this particular form from previous wreath from 2 years ago. So I highly encourage you to do the same. These do not belong in the landfill. They cannot be decomposed. And a lot of people make the mistake that since the wreath itself was a natural material, they just throw it into the garbage and into the compost, and it's a shame. So I'd like you to take a minute, if you can, in the future and remove what was previously on it and reuse it, because it's strong, it's sturdy, and it can be used again and again. In front of me here today, I've got some greenery that I foraged from my own backyard, and I encourage you to do the same. It's fall, it's the time of the year where pruning is a good idea, especially for your trees and your bushes, not just your gardens. In front of me I have a red cedar. Some of you may have. I have the yew, spelled Y-E-W. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but this particular one, a word of caution, is poisonous to children and dogs. The little red berries that grow on it. Let me see if I can find a little berry to show you. There you go. Some berries there. Those are not edible, so I highly advise you, if you are foraging or cutting, pruning with your kids or your dogs around this tree, to use caution, and of course the lovely spruce. Now, I'm blessed with these particular evergreens on my property. Not everybody is, and I want to take this moment to encourage you to also spend time outdoors. Go to a forest, some crown land, even along the sides of the road. If you drive up north for a beautiful country ride, take your shears with you, some scissors, some pruning shears, and forage. Just be gentle, and of course not on private property. The particular branches that I've cut today all needed to be cut. So I'm not cutting aimlessly. I'm not just destroying a plant. I am pruning back new growth that has grown over the past 2 years that I was thinking would cause harm come a winter storm, an ice storm. It would create the branches to be very heavy, possibly fall onto some structures we have, and that is why I encourage you to do the same. Call your local tree arborist if you have a look in your backyard and you see some branches require pruning but they are too high up. Now is the perfect time to call a tree arborist so that they can get that done professionally for you, and ask them to leave the foliage behind, so you have so much to work with for your Christmas greenery. You can use it for a garland, you can use it for a wreath, you can use it for a flower arrangement. So use this chance to get a bunch of things done. Pruning done, avoiding disasters when comes snow or ice, and also creating something beautiful and natural without spending any money, except for the tree arborist, of course. So now I want to explain how I'm going to be doing this. Each of these branches can be cut down, so we're not going to be using the full length. Each one has little branches that are offshoots from it. So I'm going to be using the shears. I was gifted these shears from my sister for my birthday. Thank you. And we're just going to be snipping anything this small up to 8 inches. No bigger than 8 inches, unless you have experience working with a wider fan of a wreath. So nothing more than 8 inches. I will give you an example. nothing longer than this. And you're working in little chunks. You're not working with a lot. It is messy, it is sappy, and there's needles, so I highly suggest you to do this outside. We've been blessed with a beautiful November that we can do things outside, so I encourage you to take in the fresh air as much as possible. I'm working outside today where we host our workshops in the summer. So I'm gathering up a bunch, say, that I can wrap my thumb and my first finger around it comfortably. I can touch both tips of my fingers. You don't want to do anything thick. Small interruption, sorry about that. So I have no thicker than how my two first fingers close together. I'm just going to take that bunch. I'm going to place it, if you have the wreath like mine, I'm going to place it right there, halfway. So if this is fanning, halfway, and I'm pinching it down just like that. Now for me, this wreath form is very easy to manipulate with my hands. The professional florists, they will have a stand where there is a machine that closes this shut for them. They just press it and it closes it shut. You can use this by hand. For me, it's comfortable. Some people who maybe are a little bit, I want to say weak. For others who it's difficult to press, this may be tricky. So if you're working with another wreath form, all you're doing is using the wire at this point and wrapping it around. Now I've also saved some of the decor pieces from the previous wreath. They were just pine cones wrapped with the wire. You can use wire like this. It's a very thin gauge. You can get it at a craft store, dollar store, on Amazon, Walmart. Everybody should be able to have this, and you can just wrap it around. It's inexpensive. So these little staples, these little clips are acting like that wire that's been wrapped around. So we're starting here, and the next will be placed right here. So I'm just going to grab my pre-cut piece, just like this, and I'm going to place it again halfway between that clip, and I'm pinching it down. Just like so. And that's it. Now if you see, I've got a lot of texture going on here because I've got the spruce, I've got the cedar, and I've got the yew. Each bunch has a little bit of each. If I only had the yew in my backyard, that is the wreath I would make. I'm only using 3 varieties because these are the varieties which I have. If you're working on a budget, I suggest you to do the same. There's absolutely nothing wrong and actually something beautiful about having a unified wreath of just one sort. Now in my case, I'm grabbing a handful with a little bit of both. I can still clip my fingers. Again, I'm placing it halfway, pressing it down. This is super simple. Anybody can do this, and I just get so discouraged when I see it so expensive, and then other people feel like they can't. Just because something is expensive doesn't mean you can't. You can too. So you see, and we're just moving along, going on top of the previous, on top of the previous, all the way around. Now once we're done, you can always add something extra. So in this case, the pine cone, just wrap it around like this. Get it to nestle in there. This is something you would be doing afterwards. I'm just doing for the sake of the video to not spend too much of your time, that you can see where this is going. So again, another bunch. When you're cutting these branches, make sure that whatever you're using to cut is nice and sharp and nice and clean. You don't want to cause any damage to any of the plants that have been working so hard to grow. So again, that's another bunch. It looks like another great spot for a pine cone later on, right over here. Now I'm doing this real time for you. I'm trying to go as fast as I can so you can see just how easy this is. You can pre-cut all of your little bundles and get them ready So that it's just a matter of gathering and placing them in, gathering and placing them in, just like I've done. Or you can work as you go. Now when this is all said and done and the season is over, I highly suggest and recommend that you take it apart, save the wire form for next year, and dispose of the greenery, the foliage, in the compost. That way the landfills are not so full with all of our junk. Saving the planet, composting, and making something budget friendly. Who doesn't love that, right? I think when you take time to make something beautiful, somehow the universe rewards you for it. So if we all took a little bit of time to make this world more beautiful, I'm just clipping just like that, we will all be rewarded. And again, halfway, pinch it down. You see, I'm past halfway now, so it's starting to look great. I'm gonna add another pine cone in here. I'm trying to do this under 15 minutes. That's what my kids have given me. So let's see how that goes, right? A bit of a bunch there. Place it in halfway. Now, some branches will be a little bit thicker and some will be a little bit thin. Always be careful when you're cutting. If you see the branch is too thick for you to cut with your shears, it's time to use a small saw. Now I have one laying around here. There we go. So it's a very good idea to invest in a little saw if you have a backyard with bushes and branches, something you can easily prune away. This particular one is from City Bay and nice and safe storage. So please don't damage yourself or the trees by trying to cut a very thick branch. It's tempting to rip it, to crack it and rip it and break it, but you're not doing the tree any good. You're doing harm by that, giving it a wound right before the winter season. That's not nice. So be kind. Okay, and then we're just placing and pinching down. Okay, it's getting lovely here. I think one more pine cone could work. And I've lost the wire to that pine cone. That's okay. I have one laying around here somewhere. If not, that's all right. Okay, so this is what we've got going on so far. I'm just about done. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more clips to go. Let's see how fast I can get it done, huh? Okay. Pressure is on, right? How the kids say, go, mommy, go. Now the spruce, the needles do dry and can fall off. So what I always suggest is check in it every week. If this is an outdoor wreath, don't worry, because the cold will keep it nice and fresh. But if it is going to go indoors, then I do suggest you checking in on it and taking it off, kind of shaking it off outside, just to give it a little bit of hairbrush, so to speak, so you can get all that extra stuff off that wants to fall off, and the rest should be fine. And like this, just a little clip. And we are just finishing up here. I am doing this in record time, I think. 2 more clips, we can do it. Now, if you guys like this video and want more videos like this, I'm so happy to make them, and I would love to make more. So I'd love to hear your feedback. If any of you have made your own wreath and want to share in the comments or in the pictures, or your pitfalls, any trouble you've run into when you've done it yourself, and I would be more than happy to read it and to give you some advice or enjoy your creation. I think it's so nice when people encourage each other. It keeps the world moving nicely. Now this is gonna be the last one coming in. Okay, let's see what we've got. Oh, one more, I missed it. Okay, so I need to do one more and that's it, and we're done. So like I was saying, please like, share, share with anyone who you think might be interested. And if you're interested for more content also, you can follow me on my Instagram page. It's at Our Little Saltbox. There is also Our Little Saltbox shop where I sell the lavender that we grow here on our property. And you can stay up to date with all the goings on that happen here. And then you tuck the last little one in, and that's it. And we're all done. So that's it. I'm gonna add some more wire here to secure this one in place, and I'm gonna place one more that I've lost the wire to right here. So as you can see, a nice full wreath, which probably at the grocery stores or at the nurseries you're gonna find for, I don't know, $50, $60 now. I see them going. Having said that, if you are not ready to forage, if you're not ready to cut down your own branches, you're scared, please support local nurseries and local farmers that do provide you with foliage that you can use for your arrangement, because it's better to support local and encourage the economy than it is to buy something from so far away that need to be trucked over here anyways. So support local and enjoy and have a lot of fun. You can always add in Christmas ornaments here and berries and other things if you wish, but this is just a great base to start off with. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you in my next video.